Welcome back. We are joined here by United States Secretary of State, Ms. Hillary Clinton. I go to you straight away.
Secretary, there's one question that I would like to ask. There is some talk of Gulbuddin Hekmatyar, that the Afghan government is reaching out to Gulbuddin Hekmatyar. Would you endorse that kind of view? Because I know you're somebody who stands for women's rights, and that would be very controversial with the women in Afghanistan.
Is your question also on Afghanistan?
No. Okay. Well, what we have said is anyone who wants to be reconcilable has to be willing to abide by the Constitution and the laws of Afghanistan, and that includes the rights of women. Now, I feel very strongly about this, and I'm sitting here with these three remarkable young journalists. I do not want to see the clock turned back on those Afghan girls who are finally going to school, on those Afghan women doctors who are finally able to take care of their patients again, on those Afghan members of the government who happen to be women who now have a job. I would not believe that that would be in the best interest of long-term stability in Afghanistan.
Secretary, just give me a second. Just give me a second. I'll explain what I'm going to say.
It's always lively.
The point is this, that I want to bring the discussion back to Pakistan. I want to connect them together. And the issue is this, that we feel in this country, it's an opportunity we're here, we feel in this country that whereas the pain of Afghanistan is visible to the US Senate, to the Congress, to the US media, to the administration, the pain of the 170 million people of Pakistan who are suffering, who are dying every day, and it's not only the death, the cycle of death, it's this: we are stagnating economically because of the war effects of Afghanistan. The investments are not coming, the production is not happening, we have energy problems and things like this. And do you realize what's happening to us? And what's the solution? We're not getting market access from you. For 10 years we've been asking for this.
Yeah, okay, yes. I just wanted to put in that exactly 3 days back on the 16th of July, Madam Secretary, the government of Punjab issued checks for the effectees of the Data Darbar blast. It saddens me to say they bounced. We are critically going through a very bad phase. Every day we see 9/11s, 26/11s. What about the money you owe us? What about the Coalition Support Fund? Is this not a big global disservice that money is being delayed?
Yeah. Well, first, let me say we are accelerating everything that was owed, and we've begun to catch up on the arrears. I'm not going to justify it. We inherited a lot of backlog that we are trying to clean out, but we are moving forward. Also, with the Kerry Lugar-Berman commitment, we are putting more money into assisting the people of Pakistan than has ever been done before, because we do recognize not only the pain and the suffering and sacrifices, but the fact that Pakistan deserves a better future. And we know that there has to be actions taken by Pakistanis themselves, but we can assist that. You know, there are so many reforms that are needed inside Pakistan that nobody from the outside can make happen. You have to have economic reform. You have to have tax reform. Your entire agricultural industry is not taxed. That is a huge loss of revenue. You have one of the lowest revenue collections per GDP in the world. So you don't have the revenues coming in that make sure checks don't bounce from governments or build schools in southern Punjab. We know that we have a role to play that we are willing to play because we believe in Pakistan's future. But we expect certain actions by Pakistan.
By within?
Yeah, there has to be an understanding that over the long run, an outsider can only do so much.
Yes, but when you speak of the Kerry, look, we understand there's an authorization appropriation process in the United States of America, which we might not necessarily understand. But the Coalition Support Fund or the other money for us acting as a frontline ally, that money should actually come in swiftly. That's the only issue. That money we're not seeing.
Plus the Friends of Democratic Pakistan initiative has been launched 2 years back. So out of 5.2 billion pledges, we only received 1.9 billion pledges.
Well, but part of that is that the Friends of Democratic Pakistan are working with the government to determine where the rest of the money should go. Okay. And I just saw a very thorough study on the energy sector that was done by the Friends of Democratic Pakistan. Because when you go to the donors, you want to say, here's where the money will go. Here is the roadmap for how the money will be spent. There is so much activity that is aimed at helping Pakistan, and it does grieve me that the press and the people in this country feel as though you're so alone that you don't have the support that I see you receiving from so many.
But Secretary, I'll explain. The old economic theory shows this thing. I'm saddened by the fact when Pakistanis ask, for myself at least, I'm saddened by the fact when the Pakistani government and the Pakistani people keep on asking US aid. That saddens me. All economic theory in 20th century shows the saying that aid does not help nations to progress. What nations actually need is trade. And what Pakistan is asking since 9/11 to 2009/11 is market access. 10 years have passed. Pakistan is not getting market access. I know getting the aid from Senate and Congress is not easy, but both the European Union and United States try to give aid to Pakistan. Neither the European Union, you're not producing any change in the structure or the regimen of the trade that can allow a war-stressed country. 160 million people suffering because of war in Afghanistan. We're not getting trade access.
Well, first of all, we are working on trade access. We just did a deal on mangoes, which I think is a big deal because we want to start importing agricultural produce, and mangoes are something that will have a good audience in the United States. We passed the Reconstruction Opportunity Zones through the House. We're working on getting it passed through the Senate. We are working on increasing the kind of investment that American businesses can make in Pakistan. I just met with a group of leading Pakistani businesses. Here's what they asked me for. Of course, they want more market access, but in addition, they want more funding from American businesses, from our funding mechanisms like the Export-Import Bank, all of which we're doing. And one of the businessmen said to me, most of the people in Pakistan don't know that every major power project in the past was funded with American dollars. Most of it private sector dollars, as you point out, not public sector dollars. There's a role for aid and there's a role for trade. The investment climate has been hurt because of the security. Now that's just something that we have to cope with, and we have to
change.
And
change.
Yeah, and we have to change. And what we're doing is taking Pakistani business leaders on trade trips to the United States so that they can talk to their counterparts, because there's a lot of great economic activity that can go on here. But if you're the average businessman sitting in the United States, you wonder, okay, is this going to happen? Is it going to be a safe investment? So we're trying to dispel that and create more business connections.
We have to take a break, and join us after a commercial break, and we will push the discussion forward in a different direction as well after the break.